Welcome Cryptopians to Total Crypto Updates, bringing you another video for real deep dives into the crypto industry. I can't promise to only speak about crypto, but I can promise everything will be understood. Let's dive into today's very dense crypto update. The data from CryptoSlam backs up the assertion that sales for Bored Ape Yacht Club are still performing relatively well in the last 24 hours, placing it in second place behind Mutant Ape Yacht Club. Justin Bieber spent 500 ETH to get his Bored Ape number 3001. The current value, which is approximately 59 ETH, represents a drop of 88% from its previous level. Justin Bieber spent $1.3 million to acquire this lonely ape, only to watch its worth drop to around $71,500 after the acquisition. The sequential decline in sales of non-exchange traded funds, NFTs, was almost two-thirds lower during the third quarter. This was due to many holders selling assets that they believed to have little potential worth. Those that kept hold of their tokens did so for a variety of reasons, including the possibility of future uses. Moving on to recent news in the United States. Republicans are slated to take control of the House of Representatives next year, which could have a significant impact on the crypto business as regulators and lawmakers work to develop new rules for digital assets. The shift will have an impact on negotiations on new digital asset rules. Republicans in Congress have an advantage to influence policy on stablecoins and oversight of crypto's markets, as well as the capacity to put more oversight pressure on regulators. However, due to the divided nature of Congress, Senate rules, and the prolonged Democratic control of the White House and Senate, any legislation will require bipartisan support in order to become law. Given the relatively new debate surrounding the topic, which has yet to become a completely political issue, crypto legislation is projected to have a greater chance of becoming law than policy in most other issue areas. However, the recent implosion of FTX, with the repercussions of its failure reverberating throughout the digital asset business, may complicate matters. Republicans will retain at least 218 House seats, the number required for a majority in that chamber, and that number might rise with 7 races still to be decided. In an article by Silicon Valley stated, superstar athletes on a tightrope in civil court. Tom Brady, Gisele Bündchen, Stephen Curry, the Golden State Warriors, Shaquille O'Neal, Udonis Haslem, David Ortiz, William Trevor Lawrence, Shohei Ohtani, Naomi Osaka, Lawrence Jean David, and Kevin O'Leary are among those who have participated in the event. All are accused of being responsible for many billions of dollars in harm. According to Adam Moskowitz, using the largest and most well-known marketers and celebrities was the only way that this vast hoax could have been effective. In the lawsuit, Brady and Curry, who served as brand ambassadors for FTX and received personal gains in the company, were described as parties who either controlled, promoted, assisted in, and actively participated in the offer and sale of unregistered yield-bearing U.S. investment products from FTX that were actually unregulated securities. The Dallas Mavericks, Stephen Ehrlich, the founder and CEO of Voyager Digital, and Mark Cuban are all defendants in a different crypto-focused class action brought by Moskowitz to collect damages on behalf of Voyager users. In a tweet by Vitalik Buterin on November 4 stated, "Updated roadmap diagram." With a picture of the actual roadmap. Vitalik Buterin unveiled a new development milestone in the Ethereum blockchain's roadmap called the Scourge. This development milestone will focus on alleviating the censoring of transactions as well as an exploitative bot-driven trading practice known as maximal extractable value, MEV. Stakeholders in the network will be able to withdraw their coins more simply after the Shanghai upgrade is implemented. The method of withdrawing funds will be redesigned such that it will have less of an effect than it otherwise might have on the pricing on the market. The rest of the thread read big changes. The Verge is not just about vertical trees, it's about verification. Endgame, fully snarked Ethereum. The Scourge. New ensure reliable and fair credibly neutral transaction inclusion, solve MEV issues. Single slot finality as stage 2 merge. Milestone. More concrete milestones in every category. More explicit role for quantum proofness as a necessary component of the endgame protocol. Big thanks to Drake Justin and others for the help. Through Layer 2 scalable networks that are specifically designed for such functions, the upgrade that introduces EIP 4488 is also designed to make financial transactions substantially less expensive. The most recent version of the roadmap for the network's enhancements was published by Vitalik Buterin. According to the Wall Street Journal, Elon Musk has reportedly stated that he will most likely recruit a different executive to operate the social media network that he has owned for less than 1 month. "I expect to reduce my time at Twitter and find somebody else to run Twitter over time," said Musk, according to the report. Musk, who is also CEO of Tesla, a much larger company, added that overseeing Twitter had been taking up most of his time in recent weeks. "Some Tesla engineers have been helping at Twitter on a voluntary basis," he said. Following his takeover of Twitter, Musk ousted a large number of the company's executives and took the roles of CEO and sole director of the business. According to the New York Times, he has fired employees who have criticized him, and he has also emailed the remaining staff members to let them know that they should anticipate working excessive hours if they want to keep their jobs. Next, it just might be possible that one of the most widely used cryptocurrency wallets on the market, MetaMask, will release its very own coin in the not-too-distant future. Users have a lot of considerations to make if they want to take part in or qualify for the airdrop. The official launch could be carried out through an official airdrop in the future. About it, Joseph Lubin commented, "Consensus has thousands of tokens on our balance sheet. Consensus is vigorously controlled by its employees, which includes me. And we are driving towards decentralization of several of our projects. When $Mask? Stay tuned." Mask may be made available to the public in the not-too-distant future, according to Joseph Lubin, who is also one of the co-founders of Ethereum and the CEO of Consensus. On November 8, he responded to a question about Mask on Twitter by saying that we should keep tuned for an announcement regarding the product in the near future. There is a long list of requirements that users need to fulfill before they may take part in the airdrop. There are some people who won't be eligible for this. Users are encouraged to do the following: stock their wallets with chains, investigate the MetaMask bridge, execute a few swaps, and contribute via Gitcoin. Users also have the option of registering with Infura, which is another thing they can do. In a post that was published on his verified Twitter account, Ethereum co-founder Vitalik Buterin issued a cautionary note regarding the risks associated with decentralized finance, DeFi, and self-custody, specifically those associated with bugs in smart contract code. The centralized anything is evil by default, use DeFi and self-custody ethos did very well this week, wrote Buterin, referring to the loss of trust in centralized exchanges that led to record exchange outflows, following FTX's collapse. But remember that it too has risks, bugs in smart contract code, continued Buterin, adding that developers should keep code simple and perform audits and formal verification to prevent smart contract exploit. The one I worry about most is if we have $10 billion in a zk 2 from now and it gets hacked because of a bug in the circuit constraint code where the EVM wrapper around it, wrote Buterin, attaching his blog post titled Hardening Rollups with Multi-Proofs. Next, let's talk about the United States Patent and Trademark Office, USPTO, has granted Sony Interactive an invention titled Tracking Unique In-Game Digital Assets Using Tokens on a Distributed Ledger. The patent was initially applied for by Sony Interactive in July 2021 and has finally been published. The patent's abstract descriptor highlights the desire to have a method that is capable of monitoring digital assets linked with video games, which includes the likes of in-game objects or characters. This desire is reflected in the fact that the patent was granted. A patent application from Sony for an esports betting platform that clearly acknowledged the possibility of crypto integration, as well as referenced the possibility of interaction with game consoles and VR/AR technology. That filing, which was initially submitted in 2019, has not yet experienced any meaningful direct output through any product manufactured by Sony. Especially in the midst of a bull market, and with the conditions surrounding cryptocurrencies over the past year, it wouldn't be surprising if the largest gaming companies in the world are putting the brakes on any first planning around the field. the deposits of stablecoins based in Solana, like as Tether, USDT, and USD Coin, USDC, have been suspended on the cryptocurrency exchange that is believed to have the biggest trading volumes in the world. This exchange is Binance. The tokens will not be accepted until further notice by the users of the trading site, therefore they will not be able to deposit them. This comes after another major cryptocurrency exchange known as OKX delisted the versions of the two largest stablecoins that were built on the Solana blockchain. After seeing what Binance did, BitMEX decided to follow suit and stop accepting deposits of the aforementioned tokens. Tether and USD Coin currently hold the third and fourth largest market capitalization positions, respectively, among all cryptocurrencies. The precipitous decline of FTX has resulted in a worsening of attitude regarding the entire Solana ecosystem. In the midst of the present crisis, money worth $700 million have been lost due to decentralized applications built on the Solana platform. The Solana Foundation explained on November 10 that it had $1 million in cash or currency equivalents deposited on the exchange that has since gone out of business. Due to the fact that these assets are currently stranded on the platform, it is impossible to access them. That will conclude today's update on trending news in the crypto world. Thank you for watching if you made it all the way through. Stay tuned, we are an active admin. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Never be afraid to voice your opinion. Tell us in the comments what you think, and give us some suggestions on what kind of content you'd like us to deep dive into. Until next time, good day, good night, and goodbye.